Look at the blood spatter.
Prince?
Bang, bang, bang.
Luminol test.
My name is Matthew Steiner.
Matt Steiner is a senior crime scene analyst and veteran investigator of over 21 years.
Today we're going to break down the portrayal of forensic science in TV and movies. As we're critiquing these clips, understand that their goal is to entertain, and they definitely do that. The Wire trajectory analysis. First off, the gun safety in this was it was comical and not realistic. You wouldn't take a loaded weapon and start waving it around at a crime scene.
Fuck.
Initially, the original crime scene investigator on the scene should have took note of directionality.
Motherfuck.
We do that by looking at the conchoidal fracturing of glass to see which direction the force is going.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
So we would have known in this case originally that the bullet was coming from outside to the inside of the kitchen. So what they do from that point is they try to figure what would the trajectory line be from that bullet hole through our deceased body. Which way was that bullet going?
Fucking A.
Lo and behold, there is the bullet in the door.
Motherfucker.
From that point, I think we deviate from reality. We wouldn't just start picking at that hole. They could be destroying rifling that's on that bullet. And that's what really we're going to send to the lab to do some sort of analysis compared to a suspect's gun.
Motherfucker.
NCIS, personal protective equipment.
No rule number 2 is always wear gloves, but when there's this much blood...
Rain gear. In the truck.
So in this scene, they actually talk about wearing personal protective equipment.
Rain gear.
Yet no one is wearing any sort of garb.
What happened?
Everyone is wearing just like a jumpsuit or their regular attire and just gloves. Basically, you would never want to do that.
Well, apparently that one did.
Beyond that, our crime scene technician, he's taking photographs. He then wipes his brow. Then he handles evidence. Basically what he's done, he's taken DNA that was on that camera, on his brow, and put it onto our evidence on the scene. And then proceeds to have a whole conversation while holding that evidence right by his face.
Did you see The Counselor? That was a pretty good movie.
Again, improper procedure for collection of DNA evidence. He could have been wearing a Tyvek suit, a mask. You may even want to wear goggles or glasses, and multiple layers of gloves.
Rule number 2 is always wear gloves.
I would strip out the outer layer of gloves, put another layer of gloves on top of it, and then proceed to collect evidence.
I think I found that out, boss.
Recovering evidence, Zodiac.
Hey, looks like you wiped the cab down pretty good. We got some blood over here.
Prince?
Could very well be.
Initial observations is that the vehicle might have been wiped down, which you can see sometimes with oblique lighting at a scene. You can see sometimes fingerprints. So that's a pretty good observation.
Thank you.
As we proceed to the other side of the vehicle, there's a shell casing on the driver's side front floor, which wasn't marked or photographed as far as I could tell.
Oh, well, that's good.
If things got to be documented in situ or as is, as found, he just picks it up with a pen. Where has that pen been beforehand? You know, was it in your hand? Was it in your ear? Was it in your nose?
Right here.
You know, it's got DNA from who knows where. I don't know where this started. Unfortunately, I've seen this in real life. If anything, if this is like a PSA of what not to do at a crime scene, that's one of those big things you wouldn't want to do at a crime scene.
I'm an idiot.
Tire impression evidence, the flash.
Getaway cars and Mustang Shelby GT500. Shelbys have a rear super wide tire specific to that model, 12 inches with an asymmetrical tread.
I don't think anyone, just by looking at a tire impression to say it came from a specific vehicle.
Sorry.
We would do some sort of dental stone casting of that impression, recover it, send it to the lab, and then there's a database which they can search to say what sort of vehicles it could come from.
There's something else. Thanks.
And there's a pen again being used to collect evidence,
My dad gave me that pen
which is improper.
before he died.
Another thing you wouldn't do is if anything is inside of our impression at our scene, we would leave it there. We would cast it in place. We wouldn't sample it because you could be destroying treadwear inside that impression.
Yeah, I did.
After he samples with the pen,
Fecal excrement. Animal, I'd guess.
I don't know how he would know the difference between human and animal feces, which I don't think is realistic.
No.
Loaded weapon, examining a body.
One raspberry push-up, one orange.
So what are we looking at here, Doc?
The worst dressed stiff I've ever seen.
This stiff and I pounded a beat together for 5 years, so show some respect.
So it's common for TV and movies to present crime scene investigation in this fashion where we have all these different people doing a million different things all at once inside of a crime scene.
That means it's working.
We want that crime scene clear. We wouldn't want anyone in there except the people who are doing the investigation. In real life, not that we would make fun of someone who is dead.
Show some respect.
But there is a certain gallows humor that goes along with crime scene investigation and death investigation. And it's one of the ways to cope with it, is to adopt this type of humor.
I know.
Crime scene analysis as portrayed in Boondock Saints.
You got any theories to go with that tie?
He was the only one done right. Double tap, back of the head.
And the pennies?
New hitman wants to leave his mark.
That's a possibility. Another possibility is they were placed there with religious intent.
In this scene, they focus too much on the why the crime happened.
What is the symbolism there?
Crime scene analysis usually deals with the who, the what, the where.
Oh, shit, I forgot about that one.
The when, the how of something, but never the why.
Kinda makes me feel like river dancing.
The why has to do with motive, and there's no way that we can prove why with science. Heat crime scene analysis.
This guy here has got what appears to be a double tap entry wound to the sternum. Tattooing around the head wound, scorched bone, close range, probably executed.
In this scene, we have I'm assuming he's a crime scene investigator. He makes an assumption that a gunshot entry wound was at close range.
Entry wound to the sternum, close range.
We can make those determinations. When you fire a gun, besides the